Welcome everyone to round 4 of the URL-GT1 Championship at Indianapolis. 22 drivers participated in this race, and it was Peter Abelowski just in front of his teammate Robert Horvat in the Mercedes-Benz CLK-LM, taking the pole with a 124.8, Robert Horvat with a 124.9, and then Peter Backus 3/10 behind in third position. In the AM Cup, it was once again Sandro Donadel taking pole, and look at that difference, only 0.05 of a second between him and second place man Andrei Golubnici. Matthias Christensen was in third for the AM Cup. So let's have a look at the highlights of the race. So here we are on the grid of the Indianapolis Oval for the start of this race. Two Mercedes guys right beside each other. Let's see who has a good start. A bit of wheel spin for Peter Abelowski, and it's 3 wide going into turn 1. It seems like Robert Horvat didn't have the greatest start. Miko Korkiakowski will go up the inside, and Peter Backus will take second position from him. Robert Horvat comes back on Miko, but goes onto the grass and has to let him through. The rest of the field was quite clean into turn 1 and 2, and everyone keeps it clean. There was some chaos in the back on the grid, but that's all sorted now, so everyone still has a good chance of defending their worthy position. Here there's a small incident here between Michal Klisch, Ethan Bass and Tony Ukic, but they get back on the track and they get going again. So Peter Backus not too far behind Peter Abelowski. Let's see, maybe he can stay close enough to make a pass into turn 1 on the second lap. Very crowded here in this twisty bit. Not easy to judge all the distances, but everyone keeps it clean. Sten Mikkel Olsen, a small tap on Yevgeny Leonov, but he gets through, and a bit of a spin there in the back. So Peter Abelowski has a big enough gap. Peter Backus, Miko Korkiakowski, Robert Horvat, Alex Scott, Michal Klisch, Miguel, Greg Magno, Matthias, Muxi, Alex, Chris, Yevgeny, Sten, and so on and so on. The whole grid streaming past, and everyone still within range. No big dramas in this first lap. Into turn 1, it was Sten Mikkel Olsen coming from very far back to claim some positions, and unfortunately a collision with Chris Simpton. Michal Klisch as well in lap 3 made it up on the back of Alex Scott, went for the inside and completed the pass in the Saline. Although the Ferrari is very quick on the straight, the slipstream was just enough for Michal to get through. And then in the AM Cup, there's Sandro Donadel behind Bjarne Christensen, and Matthias Christensen in the blue car makes a spin. So that's 1 pass for Sandro Donadel, and Matthias and Bjarne are his competitors in the AM Cup. Andrei Golubnici at the moment is in first, and he is just up the road in front of Bjarne in the yellow Lister. Sandro goes for the inside, gets it slowed down, and makes the pass for B18 at the moment. And Rob Timpen, the current championship leader in the AM Cup, has to work a bit harder to get past Bjarne Christensen. They are side by side, and Rob has the ideal racing line in the Ford GT, and he will complete the pass. Then a couple of laps in, Miko Korkiakowski couldn't do anything to defend from Robert Horvat, although he did his absolute best, managed to keep it in front into turn 1, but then Robert Horvat stayed close and went for the gap on the inside to make the pass and get up to P3 behind his teammate Peter Abelowski and Peter Backus. So very good move here by Robert Horvat, and Mikko suffering with the weight on his car. Alex Lausch then was being passed by Tony Ukic already before the pit straight, and sometimes you don't have to get past as quickly as you can, because Alex Lausch managed to get alongside again in the slipstream of Tony Ukic. Let's see who can take that 11th position. It's Tony Ukic late on the brakes in the Panos and keeping that position. Chris Simpson here behind Bjarne Christensen, taking the inside line here and making the pass. So very, very hard fought race in both the AM Cup and the Pro Cup. This was a rather small gap in the top three, and then behind are Mikko Korkiakoski and Michal Klisch now makes his way past. We can clearly see that Mikko is suffering from weight in his car, Success Ballast that is. He is the championship leader, and that is hurting him on this long straight here at Indianapolis. And then in the AM Cup, Rob Timpen here, just in front of Felix Boucher. He's in the Pro Cup now. Felix Boucher and Manuel Liguori. Felix goes through already. Can his teammate go through as well? It's a battle of the 4 GTs. You see Sandro Donadel going through. Rob goes a bit wide onto the grass, and that gives the other 4 GT the position. Here's Felix Boucher behind Andrei Golubnici, or is it Evgeny Leonov? I think it's Andrei Golubnici behind Alex Lausch. And oh no, it's Andrei Golubnici going a bit wide, and that will cost him the lead in the AM Cup. Here's Sandro Donadel keeping it clean and going for the inside line. So that's a lead change in the AM Cup. Very, very close indeed. Oh, big move here on Sandro Donadel by Felix Boucher, and Sandro just hits him, and that leaves Andrei Golubnici with some room to get past again. So as I said several times, very close racing in both classes. Sten Mikkel Olsen had to start from the back, and he's making his way up the field. He is battling with Muxi Istvan, and he gets past while Muxi gets on the grass a little bit. And now he will set his sights on Greg Metcalf. Tony Ukic is in 10th and very much in the mix of this battle. In front of Tony, we see that battle between Sten and Muxi again. Muxi trying to get back past, but Sten keeping the position. Let's see if Tony can also make it through. Oh, Muxi makes a small mistake, locks up the inside tires, goes wide, and loses another position in the same turn on the next lap. So Tony Ukic into the top 10. And here is Sandro Donadel making it back up onto the back of Andrei Golubnici and blasting past with his Koenigsegg, getting it slowed down, and you're seeing that right. Just behind them is Rob Timpen in 3rd place, so the podium spots are very, very hard fought. Now just in front we have Peter Abelovsky and Robert Horvat, and Peter Bacchus were battling very, very hard here in that first stint, but Peter Bacchus managed to keep 2nd position just in front of Michal Klisch, and then Mikko Korkiakoski. Alex Scott is in 6th, then it's Greg Metcalf, Sten Mikkel Olsen in 8th, Muxi Istvan in 9th, then Ethan Bass in 10th, 11th is for Miguel Santiago Carao, Manuel Liguori in 12th, then Evgeny Leonov, Sandro Donadel, leader in the AM Cup, Andrei Golubnici, Rob Timpen, very close, then Tony Ukic, he already pitted, and we're coming up on the round of pit stops. In the moment, Matthias Christensen is in last position. So let's go back to the AM battle. Sandro Donadel is in front, but second and third placemen Andrei Golubnici and Rob Timpen will come into the pits at the same time, and together with a lot of other people in the pits. Very, very close. Oh, Rob has to slow it down to avoid hitting Andrei, and he stops in his pit stall. We see some other drivers coming in as well. One of the Lamborghinis, one of the Salines, that's Michal Klisch. So most of the guys coming in, Alex Scott as well. And then it was on to the second stint, and everyone was still very, very close. Here's Felix Boucher battling with Alex Lausch. A bit of bumping there, and Felix gets a good apex and goes through for P16. And the leaders, or in any case Peter Backus and Robert Horvat, are right behind them, as we see here. And this is Robert Horvat taking advantage, or isn't he, from lapping cars? Goes for the over-under, and Peter goes a little bit wide, and Robert Horvat goes through to put the Mercedes guys in a 1-2 position. A couple of laps later, it was both of them getting past Felix Boucher with a hairy moment, and Peter Backus was right in the slipstream again to regain his second position effectively. We still have Ethan Bass running. He didn't pit yet, and Felix Boucher is very, very close. He should back out a little bit. Oh, and he hits Robert Horvat. That gives Peter Backus back second position, but that will not be to Robert's liking. Anyway, a couple of laps later, he got back on the back of Peter Backus, and after a small mistake, he took that second position back. Sten Mikkel Olsen was in a battle with Greg Metcalf, coming from a long way back. This is what we call a dive bomb, with a little bit of contact on Greg Metcalf, and Sten Mikkel Olsen goes through for P9. And then drama for Michal Klisch. He was comfortably in fourth and very close to Peter Backus in third now. And just see how small the margin of error is. Clip the grass. He hits the wall, unfortunately, and he loses his right front tire just past the pit entry, so he has to do a whole lap on 3 tires. Miguel Santiago Carao in 9th got up onto the back of Tony Ukic after he had a spin, and goes for the inside, gets it slowed down, and makes the pass for P8 on Tony Ukic, our reigning champion. And these two are just in front of Peter Abelovsky, so about to be lapped. Tony Ukic lets himself be lapped by Peter, but Miguel will be able to stay ahead. But this is Peter Abelovsky taking a very dominant win here at Indianapolis, taking pole, fastest lap, and the race win. So congratulations to Peter Abelovsky and on their team, because Robert Horvat will take second position. The gap was quite big. Then Peter Backus, as we saw, and Ethan Bass having a spin on the last lap. Luckily, no one was really close to Peter Backus, and he gets going again to take the last podium spot. Miko Korkiakowski, championship leader at the moment, will take P4. Alex Scott will get home into 5th. Then Sten Mikkel Olsen up to 6th from last position. Then Greg Metcalf, Miguel Santiago Carao, Tony Ukic, we saw that battle. Muxi Istvan rounding up the top 10. Michal Klisch in 11th. Manuel Liguori, Ethan Bass in 13th. Felix Boucher, Sandro Donadel taking the win in the AM Cup. Andrei Golubnici in 2nd and Rob Timpen in 3rd. Matthias Christensen will finish 4th. Then Chris Simpton and Bjarne Christensen. And we had 2 retirements from the race, Yevgeny Leonov and Alex Lausch. Here are the full results. Alex Lausch retired with an engine failure, and Yevgeny Leonov had a collision. As I said, Peter Abelovsky taking the fastest lap, the race win and the pole position. So a dominant win by him, 27 seconds up the road from his teammate Robert Horvat. And Sando Donadel, Andrei Golubnici and Rob Timpen, as we saw, very close all race, and Sando taking the win. We will have to see how this plays out in the championship standings. Next week we are not racing in GTR 3. The second round of the Assetto Corsa GT3 League will be held at Spa, but in 2 weeks we are looking forward to the race at Montreal. Always provides some very good racing with the long straights and the twisty sections, with the walls closer as ever. So looking forward to that one. Join us at unitedracersleague.com or subscribe to the YouTube channel to follow all the highlights videos of this championship.